All right, so let's talk about racism for a second. But maybe not the kind you're thinking of, the loud, hateful stuff you might see in a movie. No, sometimes it's quieter. It's more confusing, especially in a place like West Texas. And that's what we're digging into today, this really fascinating survival guide for navigating that exact kind of social landscape.
This line right here, it's the perfect opener from the source we're looking at. It just nails it. We're not talking about obvious, in-your-face hatred. It's something way more subtle, the kind of thing that makes you stop and think, wait, did that just happen? So if it's not loud, then what is it?
It's this: polite confusion wearing boots. What a perfect phrase, right? I mean, just picture it. It's racism that smiles at you, gives you a firm handshake, but then starts asking these questions. And they don't feel like an attack. They feel more like paperwork. It's friendly, sure, but the whole point is to figure out what box to put you in. So let's get into what this polite confusion actually looks like on the ground. What does it feel like day to day? Well, it usually kicks off with a super simple, super common question. You hear this all the time, right? Where are you from? Seems totally innocent. It's just an icebreaker. So you give your answer, Dallas, Houston, whatever, and you think, okay, cool, conversation's moving on. But it almost never stops there. And there it is, the follow-up. Now, originally, the source material calls this the origin trap, and that's exactly what it is. See, the question isn't about geography anymore. It's about putting you in a neat little category. It's the first question on that mental paperwork they're filling out about you. And this stuff pops up everywhere, usually dressed up as a compliment or some well-meaning advice. Like you're at church and someone tells you, "We don't see color here," while the whole reason they're saying it is because they absolutely see your color. Or you're out on the golf course and you get a, "Wow, you play real well. Didn't expect that." It's these little jabs, these backhanded compliments, like you're doing great, considering. Each one is just a subtle way of reminding you that you're in the other box. So what do? How do you even deal with this? Well, this is where the survival guide comes in with its own set of unspoken rules. And it's not about getting into a big fight. It's about being clever. It's about using wit to play this very, very particular social game. And here's the genius of it all. The goal isn't to be rude back. No, the goal is to deflect, to confuse, and to basically out-polite their politeness. The whole strategy is to hand the awkwardness right back to them, but you do it with a smile. Let's look at a few examples, because this is where it gets really good. Okay, scenario 1. Someone says, "Wow, you speak good English." The comeback? "You too." It's just perfect, isn't it? You say it with a warm smile, like a genuine compliment, and it just completely fries their circuits. That original backhanded compliment is dead in the water, and now they're left trying to figure out what just happened. It's like you've handed them a little puzzle they can't solve. Or how about this one? "I like your accent." Instead of just saying thanks, the retort is, "Thanks. I borrowed it from history." Come on, that's so good. It's not aggressive at all. It's just witty. And it totally reframes the conversation. Your accent isn't some weird quirk. It's the result of, centuries of global history. It's smart. And it kind of disarms them. Okay, this one might be my favorite. They point at your food and ask, "Is that spicy?" The answer? "Only emotionally." It's hilarious. It takes this totally stereotypical question and just flips it on its head with this funny, unexpected, and honestly, superhuman response. You've completely sidestepped the stereotype and changed the topic from food to feelings. And now for what the guide calls the final boss. You know this one, the dreaded, "No offense, but," which, let's be real, is always the intro to something offensive. The comeback? None taken. I collect them. It's brilliant. It just completely deflates whatever they were about to say. You've taken all the power out of their statement before they can even make it, just with pure wit. This next one is so important because it's about finding allies. Someone asks, "So, what kind of Indian are you?" And in this scenario, you've got someone from India and a Native American standing together. The person from India says, "Imported." The Native American says, "Original." And then together, they deliver the punchline, "Same warranty issues." It's amazing. They use humor to shut down the question, but they also bond over this shared experience of constantly being labeled. And you can just imagine the questioner's face, totally confused. So now we've seen the how-to part of the survival guide, right? The witty comebacks. But the source we're pulling from goes a lot deeper. It starts asking why. Like, why does this specific kind of polite, confusing racism even exist in a place like West Texas.
And this is where the whole thing gets a little more nuanced, because it's not always straight up hatred. Sometimes it's more like hesitation. The source suggests the reasons are actually way more complex, and they're tied directly into the social and economic life of the region. This right here explains so much. It's called the home invite Facebook paradox. Think about it. In a big city like New York, we'll be online friends forever, but you are not coming over to my tiny apartment unless I've known you for ages. Physical space is sacred. But in West Texas, it's flipped. Someone might invite you over for dinner pretty quickly, but they won't add you on Facebook until they're sure you're going to stick around. That online connection, that's seen as the real, deep, emotional investment. And this all boils down to a fascinating concept: emotional risk management. See, in a boom and bust oil economy, people are constantly moving in and out. It's transient. So if you're a local, you learn over time not to get too attached to every new person because they might be gone in a year. It's a defense mechanism, really. So what feels like somebody excluding you might actually be them just protecting their own heart, something born from years of economic uncertainty. Okay, so now that we have that extra layer of understanding, let's kind of pull all these threads together and look beyond just the clever comebacks. What's the bigger picture here? This quote really brings it home. West Texas racism is not hatred. It's curiosity with bad manners and excellent posture. That's such a powerful way to reframe it. Now, it's not making excuses for the behavior, not at all, but it does help explain it. It's not necessarily coming from a place of pure malice. It's more like a clumsy, awkward attempt to understand someone who just doesn't fit the pattern they're used to. And look, it's also really important to see the other side of West Texas. The place isn't just one thing. There's this incredible beauty in the landscape, a sky that feels like it goes on forever. There's real space, physically and mentally. And because it's a smaller community, you keep seeing the same people, which means real friendships can actually grow. And here's the irony. That same oil economy that makes everyone so hesitant to connect, it also brings in this unexpected diversity. People from oil regions all across the globe. Which brings us right back around to where we started. We've gone from that first awkward, clumsy question all the way to the very real possibility of friendship. But the guide makes one last crucial point. These little tests, they don't just stop. The questions will pop up again. Maybe you've made friends, you get invited to Thanksgiving, and someone asks again. So after all this, what's the final answer? And the survival guide gives you the perfect response. I'm more on the side of the Indian. It's just chef's kiss. It's witty, it's historical, it's firm without being aggressive, and it is packed with meaning. You're not just answering a question about a holiday meal. You're making a huge statement about identity, about history, and about where you choose to stand. And you're doing it with that same clever, polite defiance that this whole guide is about. A truly brilliant way to pass the gravy and leave the whole table with something to chew on.